I'm Zarina Matcha, and you're watching The Rational Female. I love women, yet I hate feminism. For too long, feminism has held a monopoly on female empowerment. Many people across the world still think that feminism just means gender equality, or that feminism is all about empowering women. Yet if you read any book or article written by a feminist, these claims are redundant. Many feminists are hostile to men's rights and cite men's rights activism as misogyny. On the flip side, they're extremely patronizing towards men by claiming that feminism supports men, while simultaneously blaming men, or the patriarchy, for everything bad that has happened in the world and for all of women's struggles. Feminism teaches women that we are oppressed, instead of telling women that we have power and agency over our own lives. Feminism creates a victim mindset in women rather than a growth mindset. It is a mean-spirited, narcissistic, historically and scientifically inaccurate ideology that has done absolutely nothing good for men or women. Even though lots of women are anti-feminist or don't view themselves as feminists, we are still often fed feminist propaganda in the media and in education. Any article that celebrates a successful woman in history automatically lists her as a feminist icon. The problem is, most people don't understand that feminism is a political ideology, hence the catchphrase, the personal is political. Feminism is a political ideology rooted in Marxism. Most feminists were or have been on the far left. Right-wing women, center-leaning women, or apolitical women usually have little in common with feminist thought because feminism really doesn't appeal to women who are not on the far left. I believe it's time for a new women's movement that celebrates, supports, and uplifts women while also being allies to men and supporting men's rights activism. This movement is not political and is really more of a philosophy and approach to life that involves supporting and uplifting women while also being an ally to men. I call this philosophy women's advocacy, and it's a non-feminist alternative to female empowerment. By embracing women's advocacy, women can learn to empower ourselves as women and also be pro-men, instead of viewing ourselves as victims of patriarchal oppression. Here are the tenets of women's advocacy. A women's advocate believes that women are inherently strong, powerful, and resilient, and empowers women to become the best versions of ourselves. We don't see women as victims of systemic injustice based on sex, and instead hold that men and women both equally face struggles and difficulties in life. A women's advocate views marriage as a positive institution for those who wish to be married, and supports complementary relationships between men and women. A women's advocate views the family unit as a positive structure for those who wish to have children, not as a heteronormative patriarchal institution. A women's advocate accepts sex as a biological reality, not a social construct, accepts that women and men are different, and doesn't view this as sexist. A women's advocate also supports better psychological and medical support for those suffering from gender dysphoria, but not at the detriment to or the erasure of the female or male role. A women's advocate supports a woman's right to choose her own life path, provided that path does not involve inflicting harm on others. A women's advocate does not reprimand a woman for choosing to become a housewife, author, CEO, nurse, psychologist, and so on. Everyone is on their own life path and deserves to do what is best for them. A women's advocate supports the ending of genuine social problems facing women and girls, such as female genital mutilation, sexual assault, and mental health issues. This is on the basis of being a kind and compassionate person, not on the basis of a political doctrine. Equally, we support the ending of genuine social problems for men and boys. A women's advocate is anti-misandry and doesn't attack men for being men, nor do we attack masculinity. We reject concepts like toxic masculinity and male privilege. Women's advocacy does not endorse bigotry against anyone on the basis of race, sex, class, or sexuality. A women's advocate accepts that bad behavior can be committed by both men and women. Men and women are equally capable of behaving badly. Toxic behavior is prevalent in both men and women. There are toxic masculine behavioral traits and toxic feminine behavioral traits. A women's advocate is pro-responsibility. A women's advocate encourages women to take responsibility for our life choices and decisions. Women should be encouraged to have agency and empower ourselves, not view ourselves as victims of systemic sexism. This includes in serious matters like abortion, career choices, and family planning. A women's advocate is an ally to men's social and political issues and supports men's rights activism on the basis of achieving social and political progress for men's rights. We hope that long-term, Both men's advocates and women's advocates can work together to bring about genuine social progress for an egalitarian future. My friend Shahara and I consider ourselves non-feminist women's advocates. We are fed up of feminists dominating the conversation regarding female empowerment and women's voices. We are fed up of their lies. Even though most women don't statistically identify as feminists, there's still a huge presence of feminism in academia and the media. We believe that the way to end feminism is by creating this new pro-female philosophy and movement that rejects all of feminist claims and theory while also supporting the men's rights movement. Many women across the Western world, including Erin Pitsey, Karen Strawn, and Janice Fiamenko, have also been trying to end feminism and also support men's rights. But feminism will only truly die out if something much stronger can come and replace it. Something that supports and empowers women without being feminists. I currently manage a subreddit called Women's Advocates, where I post content a few times a week. We also attend Speaker's Corner in Hyde Park in London every Sunday afternoon. I have written and printed out these pamphlets that include information on women's advocacy, and also clear up many feminist misconceptions like voting rights, equal pay, contraception, and even includes a section on men's rights. We have copies of these pamphlets with us every Sunday, so if you come and find us at Speaker's Corner, we will be there with a small table. Some are highlighted like this one, and some are just plain black and white. You can purchase them for £1 each because it took me a lot of time to write these and ink costs money. So if you are interested in learning more about us and why we are pro-women but anti-feminism, come on down to Speaker's Corner one Sunday afternoon, or subscribe to my YouTube channel, The Rational Female, for regular anti-feminist content. Thank you for watching, and do leave a comment sharing your thoughts below. Mwah.